Hello, welcome back. I'm Chaitanya Adoni from Lightningcode, and today I'll be teaching you about movement in Unity. Um, for any basic game, usually you need movement. In fact, even this game I can show you right now. Uh, um, when you control the keys, sorry about the noise, but so when you control the keys, you can go like this and like this. So I was clicking the left arrow and the right arrow. So now to teach you movement, we'll need to dive into the code and also dive into I would consider it type of coding, but yeah, like how to enable your player to start moving. So let's get to this. First, we'll be needing to create a C# script. If you don't know what C# is, it's a type of coding platform or language, I would consider it. C# script. It'll be called mono behavior script something. But you're supposed to, you would call it move. Enter. I already have a move script on this, so that's how it'll be. And we'll start and we'll get kicked into this. I don't want to waste your time on just typing, so I'll just type everything in and show you back. Okay, so now that everything's typed in, it's good to go. So first, what we'll be needing is public class move. This is already there. Brackets, obviously. And so yeah, we'll have more for the void fixed update. And just I don't know what I did for these brackets, but I just decided to add them. And so this rb.addForce, I added this because so it's constantly it's constantly moving. No matter what, you can't make it stop. So if I were to so if I were to make this a comment, and so yeah, always make sure that you save it, CTRL-S. Try that again. Okay, and you go back to Unity, and so let it load, and look. So now it won't even move. Oh yes, it'll look like it's moving backwards, but that's just the clouds that are moving forwards. But currently it may look like it's moving, but it's not moving at all. So you can only move right and left. Only if I try moving only if I try moving forward will I actually move forward. So now this simple game doesn't even work if you accidentally delete a line of code or do that. So you need to be very precise in the way you code. So I'm gonna uncomment this and then save it again. Oops. CTRL-S. And so now, oops. So now that it's saved, I went to the wrong place. So yeah, it'll load up, and now look at how it goes. So now you actually can move, and now you also move forward. So each line of code matters a lot. So yeah, first you'll be trying. So yeah, first we'll be doing this chunk. So rb.addForce, and then this is vector, vector3. I don't know. So try experimenting with this part. Even I need to experiment because you never know if you need to use the y-axis, x-axis, or z-axis on your code. I experimented. It took a lot of time. So just try to be quick in your experimentation. And and then you do force mode impulse. Also make sure that these commas are there. And when you're doing the thing, make sure that you have commas and, okay, so where was I? Okay, yeah. So make sure that you always have commas, and make sure that you always use decimal places and negative numbers. Right here, this is a negative number to make it go in the opposite direction, because it'll just be slightly harder. Like x, you like when it's on the x-axis, you need to if you want it to go both ways, you need to make it go this way, and then you need to do a minus to make it go the other way, negative. So also make sure that you add an f, or it'll give you a syntax error, because when you ever make an f in this, when you don't have an f, f stands for floating point, and you do a decimal, it won't work that well. So just to be more precise, you can use floating point, and yeah, it'll give you a syntax error. So don't try using decimals without f. I'm just gonna save it so it stops doing that. So now I'll be going down. So if input.getKey D, so this can be anything. You can change it right here, and you can make it J. So that means if I press J, it'll move right or left. I'm not sure right now, but I'm pretty sure right. And so I'm just gonna put this back, and then yeah, so then you can also, if you want to use the arrow keys, you do and, which is these two lines, input.get key, exactly like this, and just say right. Don't say get key. Don't say D. You say right, down, and you can say up, and there's other keys. I don't know, but there, and then rb.add force, which is what the force is when that happens. This just triggers it. So it triggers this to happen, but the second they let go of it, the triggers will stop. So rb.add force, just like the rest of them, and so it'll be 18 here, because 18 is where it was for me. And so you do the same thing, except the exact opposite for the next. That's what I did for here. And I wanted to make it speed up and slow down. So I also did if.input.getKey up, and rb.add force, depending on your vector, and if input.getKey s, so, or down, then it'll be -5. So what I meant to do with that is, usually I would have set it -3, but yeah, so if you remove the negative from this, it'll make it go even faster. So that's why negatives matter a lot in this. I was always wondering why my parents always wanted me to learn math for coding. Well, at least now we know. So when you're done with your code and you're fully complete, just do CTRL-S, come back to your project, and it's not over yet. Although it's already enabled for me, I have another thing called Move Thief, which he does the exact opposite of the police or the player. So there's actually two commands happening for one key at the same time. That's an interesting thing that I just wanted to tell you about my game. You may not find it in all games, because a police and thief game, it's not very common. Actually, it is quite common, but not for games. What am I saying? But so let's get back to this. So police helicopter in this case is mine. There's also, I don't know where the thief is, but let's just work on this. So make sure that you always have a rigid body. Otherwise, see, when you go here, you can see police helicopter, but if you don't have a rigid body, like if you deleted the rigid body, then it won't show up in your in this thing where you can select the stuff. So I have a lot of things with rigid bodies here, so that's why it'll show like this. But yeah, this has a rigid body, so you can use it. And depending on what you want, box collider, mesh collider, anything is fine. And I have an audio source for my player. It's a helicopter noise. You might have experienced it before. So right there. And so right here. And so yeah, make sure that when you're inside this, if you see none, then make sure that you add rigid body to the one that you, to the player, aka asset that you want. It can even be an asset that you made, like this gaming cube that I made in the past video. Also, that reminds me, make sure that you comment and subscribe for any new videos, and to Lightningcode. And let's go back. If you see none, obviously you need to put a rigid body, as I explained before. And when you find it, just click on it. You can use it for assets, but that won't work. But so then, yeah, when you find the one you do, click on it and just X out. If you can't find it because you have too many, then you can search for it. If mine is police helicopter, I'll go in here and I'll search police. There, see, so much easier. But enough on that. So that's enabling your script. And then, so yeah, also another important thing is freeze rotation. So you'll find this in rigid body. You can also change the mass. So like, do you want it to be like super heavy and knock away anything? Then you can make this like 100, but it'll be really hard to move. So I'm just gonna leave it at 1. And angular drag, you can do all of that stuff. And use gravity. Use gravity is actually important because you want them to just float in the air. So this is the game with use gravity on. Wait for a second. Yeah, there. So with gravity on, this is what the game is like. And you just play through. But so yeah, for some things, for some assets, you can make it like that. But yeah, so this is how it's like. But with gravity off, it makes a whole ton of other experiences. So make sure that you enable or disable the one. See, look, this guy's actually floating right now, if you don't know. So currently the helicopter is floating. So look, this is with use gravity disabled. So that means that there's no gravity and the game is completely broken. So depending on what kind of games you use, like for assets, it's okay to have no gravity. For the player, I recommend you to not, but it's dependent on the game. That's what I can say. Also, freeze position. It'll freeze all of the places. Like if you don't want it to go to the right or the left when it hits something, because it keeps on going there. Then see, look now. Although I did that, although the script is enabled, I constrained it from moving anywhere. So now it can't even move. So I'll just remove these constraints and you'll immediately see that you can actually move again right here. So now you can actually move forward. So that's what will be good. I recommend you not to use constraints on all because then it won't be able to move. Your choice though. And freeze rotation. The reason I have all rotations disabled is because when you use rb.addForce, it kind of gets crazy. So if you forgot to use constraints, this is how the game will look. Trust me, you don't want this. Oh, Chaitanya, this looks normal at first, but it's a normal game until you hit stuff. Oh, geez, what happened here? So I recommend you to have constraints because of this. You might not even understand what's going on here. So enough getting dizzy, and let's enable. So like if I enable X, so now X constraint is off. If I constrained X, it'll still get messed up in the other two axes. Then Y, same, and you get the picture. So that's why freeze rotation for me is always off. So this was a quick thing for movement. I hope you liked it. Please comment for any other things that you want, like how to enable the an obstacle to be moving around like this. And yeah, you can do like a table tennis racket moving around like this constantly. So you can ask me anything you want in the comments, and please subscribe to see any more of my videos. It'll be really helpful in the future, trust me. So please subscribe and comment for anything you want me to do. Unity, it can be in Blender, it can be in Wix, or it could be in animations. Maybe even something entirely new. So until we meet again, goodbye. See you next time on Lightning Code.